Today I effed up by accidentally texting my husband. This was not actually today, but it was recently enough that I thought I'd share. My husband, my cat and I are chilling and suddenly my husband farts. Large. Seemingly as a reaction. With perfect timing and a traumatized facial response. My cat gets up and ditches. I start cracking up and immediately text my sister husband name, farted and, cat name, left. Right double quotation mark. But it turns out I accidentally texted my husband instead of my sister about himself farting. He opens the text and shows it to me. I am utterly confused for a moment about how he has this text. Then it registers that I texted him making fun of him and I start cracking up even harder. My pregnant self not slightly, but completely loses bladder control. Now, every time I make fun of my husband, he says, "Are you gonna text me about it?" Or, alternatively, "Are you gonna pee about it?" Right double quotation mark. TL. Doctor, I meant to text my sister making fun of my husband but mistakenly texted my husband making fun of my husband. I followed up by providing further fodder for his comebacks. Edit. Awards. Whoa. Thanks, everyone. I love these kinds of stories, the kind where being super gross is also super funny. 2 months after my husband and I first met, we went camping. While we were camping he farted. It was loud and wet and we heard someone camped near us laugh. So we started to laugh uncontrollably. Turns out he had diarrhea and laughed so hard he shit his pants, which in turn made me laugh so hard I pissed mine. Still one of my favorite memories. That is an Ask Me Anything story. I also like that a stranger laughed at the fart. That's my kind of stranger. Farts should always be laughed at. 5-year-old us would be greatly disappointed if we didn't. First, thank you for posting here and it not being a sex things. Secondly, congrats on a healthy relationship. And that is pretty funny, thank you. Haha. I was afraid I'd get flagged for the pee part. Glad you enjoyed our goofy experience. You should ask to borrow your husband's bladder. Because he isn't ever letting this go. Source, experience. Is your cat okay though? I think he took it pretty well. Although I sympathize knowing he can smell way better than I can. Your cat fared better than ours, smart enough to get away I guess. We had an incident where my husband farted and the cat sitting on the chair next to him puked after he smelled it. I felt bad for the cat. And worse because I couldn't stop laughing. No one could stop laughing. We had a friend over at the time, so we have a witness to the time my husband farted and made our cat throw up. Today I effed up by playing with my food, making my bosses think I was doing drugs. I was on my way to work and decided to stop at Tim Hortons for some Timbits, donut holes for you Americans. It's our Dunkin' Donuts up here. I got a mix of my favorites. Plain no glaze and raspberry filled with icing sugar. I stuff the box into my lunchbox and go to work. Time comes for my short break. So I decide to eat some of my Timbits. My co-worker and I usually eat in the second cafeteria out a distance from other people. So we sit a few tables away from each other and try throwing the Timbits to catch in our mouths. I missed catching a raspberry Timbit and it hit my upper lip, leaving the white icing sugar all around my nose area too. I wipe off what I thought was all of it, but clearly missed some spots under my nose. My friend didn't tell me. We go back to work, and this notorious snitch kept looking at me weirdly and I didn't know why. Couple minutes later I get called to the boss office with no clue why. So I walk down to the office. And 2 of my supervisors are sitting with the big boss man. They all look pissed. I sit down. And they start questioning me about why I've been at work so much more than normal, working long hours. I'm a student and my classes are all online now. And I went from working 10-15 hours per week to 8-10 per day plus weekends. I tell them about my school being online and I have more time. But they don't look like they're buying it. Then they get right into it and ask me why I'm doing drugs at work. If I bought it here. And all the legal implications they're going to have to take. I'm freaking out. As I don't use any drugs in or out of work. I ask where this came from as I tell them I don't use anything and would never at work. And one of them hands me a pocket mirror and tells me to look under my nose. I start laughing and explaining the Timbit situation in the lunchroom. They're not buying it. So they tell me to wait in the room and they all leave. They go to watch the security footage. And lo and behold, they see us pelting each other with Timbits. And me getting hit in the face. They come back in the room laughing. Explaining how they're sorry and that I should clean my nose better. And tell me I can head back to work. Upside to this? Got an extra 30-minute break from working. Downside? Almost had a heart attack at 22. TLDR, got Timbits on my way to work. Decided to try to throw and catch them in my mouth during break. Leaving what looked like cocaine residue on my upper lip and under my nose. Got called to my boss office and almost got fired because they thought I was doing drugs until they reviewed the security footage. Congratulations. You can now do drugs with impunity. And show off. Haha, I missed another one. And another. And another. Your co-worker should do a better job of minding his own business. WTF. She could never mayo. She goes straight to the bosses for a NYTHING. Pretty sure she committed slander. Eat a raspberry donut tomorrow while making full eye contact with snitchy coworker. Make sure to smear a good amount of sugar on your upper lip. When you finish, give said coworker a Jim Halpert style nod. Edit, gold. I don't even know what to say. I feel like a flustered actress at an award ceremony. Thank you whoever you are. I would do the thing to thank you directly, but I'm such a technical noob that I can't figure out how to do it. Or to collect the coins that I'm supposed to be able to do other things I also won't understand how to do. But thanks. We'll try. And post an update of my icing sugar mustache. Close bracket. Please do.